As most of you know, I recently had a hysterectomy. It was supposed to be a standard, routine, three and a half hour procedure. And unfortunately, my hysterectomy was the complete opposite of routine. So in this video, we're going to talk about my hysterectomy and how the recovery process has been thus far. I say thus far because we ain't over yet, sis. So before I start this video, let me first just say, if you feel like something is wrong with you medically and you've gone to the doctor and for whatever reason you feel like maybe the doctor has brushed you off, maybe they're not taking you seriously, do not give up. Do not be afraid to go get a second opinion, a third opinion, a fourth opinion, or even a fifth opinion, because that fifth opinion may be the opinion that will save your life. And that's my situation. If I wasn't forceful in figuring out what was wrong with me, something bad could have happened. Okay, so on January 25th, 2021, I went into what should have been a standard routine hysterectomy. It was scheduled as an in and out surgery, possibly overnight. And I'm not sure if a hysterectomy is typically a in and out procedure, but because of COVID and the COVID restrictions that the hospital I was admitted to has, they treated it as such. So, as what the plan was to have the surgery, spend a few hours in recovery, and then be discharged home as long as I can use the bathroom. That didn't happen. So my surgery was scheduled for 7:30 a.m. It started on time. It was supposed to be a few hours long, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours max. My surgery ended up being an all-day event. It went from being a routine hysterectomy to an emergency operation within minutes of them opening me up. So typically with a laparoscopic surgery, at least the hysterectomy that I was receiving, what was supposed to happen is that they were supposed to be laparoscopic. They were supposed to insert the camera through my navel, cut some holes on the side of my stomach. That way they can insert the incisions that they can insert the tools that will be needed to cut the uterus apart, and then they were supposed to pour the uterus out through my vagina. That never happened. Typically with a laparoscopic hysterectomy, they put you on a table, they raise you up, and then they tilt the table. And the reason they tilt the table is because they want all of your organs that they don't have to operate on to shift in another direction. That way they won't accidentally puncture something that they're not supposed to. Well, in my situation, when they tilted me, nothing shifted. And the reason it didn't shift is because the scar tissue and the endometrium was so bad that it had everything meshed together. So instead of it being laparoscopic, I had to be opened up. So my surgeon opened me. She cut an incision from the bottom of my navel all the way down to the middle of my pubic area. My incision is about this long. This is not an exaggeration. So we're talking about a little longer than my head. So she opened me up, and when she opened me up, she realized that the endometrium and the scar tissue started to take over my small intestines as well as my bowel. So they had to pause while I'm still asleep, completely open, and she had to call in, I don't know the medical term for the job title, but basically she had to call in an intestinal and bowel specialist to come assist her in a surgery. So what ended up happening is, not only did they remove my uterus, which was enlarged. When they got my uterus out, my uterus weighed close to 10 pounds. Okay. So they had to take that out. They had to take a portion of my bowel out, and they also had to take half of my small intestines out. So my surgery, which should have been a few hours, started at 7:30. My surgery did not end till close to 4 o'clock. My surgeons and the specialists, when they came to check on me, they said that they're glad I didn't cancel my surgery because I was afraid. So I was afraid. So I was about to cancel. The day before, I said, you know, I'm going to work tomorrow. And they said they're glad that I didn't cancel because it was so much damage that it was a matter of time that I would have had some sort of bowel obstruction, which basically means that my bowel and my small intestines could have twisted so much, it could have twisted itself apart. I could have bled to death. It's a lot. So instead of it being an in and out surgery, I end up being in the hospital for a week. I was able to urinate with no problem, but I was not making gas and I was not passing a bowel, so they had to keep a watch on me. Another issue is I am severely anemic. I lost a lot of blood during the surgery, so over that week I had to get a couple of blood transfusions. I had to get I had to take potassium. They put some type of potassium drip in my IV. That was the most painful shit I ever felt in my life. I don't know why that burned so bad. So they switched me from that into taking the pills. So within a week, I think I had 4. I had a total of 4 blood transfusions. And so let's talk about this recovery, y'all. Let's talk about this recovery.